leads to US independence. Now understand that how was the geography of USA. Okay, this is South America and this is North America. So it is said that the northern part of America, it is written here, it was cold, hilly, and there was small farms. So this was used for fishing, trade and shipbuilding. The middle part basically consisted of the fertile valleys. We all have seen over here that prairies are the kind of grasslands which are found here, and these prairies are also known as the wheat bowl, right? So production, agricultural production was happening over here, shipbuilding was happening over here, right? And in the southern colonies, mostly the plantation work was happening for tobacco, rice, indigo, and African laborers were working over here, right? So such was in three parts. The land was divided: shipping, timber industry, agricultural wheat bowls, and the enslaved planters, right? From the from the British and the French colonies. Is it clear? See, the diagram is over here. This is how they were settling up. Again, I'll mark it up over here. This part will be for your shipping purposes. This one will be for your agricultural lands. Okay. And this one over here will be the planter lands. Is it clear? Now you see it clearly on the map. Okay, so we also noticed one thing after this, that initially when these people were transported to US, the government was following a policy of non-interference. Okay, they did not participate, or they kept themselves at a minimal interference stage, and this is also known as the policy of salutary neglect, which means that the colonies which assembled over there, okay, they handled the trade, they handled the trade regulation at a very loose stage, okay, not that they were participating into, they were not poking their nose into the day-to-day administration initially. But what happens, what leads to the shift in the British policies ultimately is your expenditure which was required for your 7 years of war. From where will the money come to sustain this war? We have also seen this in the case that they had imposed a lot of taxes on India, right? Similarly, they imposed the tax on their other colonies in North America. Why? More tax, more payment, more arms and more ammunitions for the war, right? Because there was a fight, there was an arms race to be one of the strongest imperialist nation in the world. Okay, now the government decided the colonies should share the financial burden of maintaining the empire. So they imposed a series of legislative measures, जैसे on mere items like sugar tax. ठीक है, if you have to eat sugar, you have to pay the tax. Stamp tax. Now, stamp tax is not even relevant. They are not even using the stamp duties of Britain or Europe in North America, right? This was one of the major bone of contention that later leads to a lot of conflicts. Tea Acts, right? So understand that in detail we will see what were the fundamental causes of the American Revolution. The first cause over here was conflict of the ideas and the principle. These colonialists, they believe in the freedom of thought, liberty, and the natural rights, but the Britishers, they had a monarchical form of government. Okay, and they upheld the mercantilism, or you can say whatever was profiting their trading practices. Okay, they favored that. Apart from this, we have seen a person who is from middle class, definitely he is going to oppose this arbitrary taxation and the authority which is imposed itself from the Britain. Okay, so they demanded that the Britain's parliament power should be restricted by certain fundamental law. And they said that why not North America have a direct contact with the empire, right? First thing was this, because US had idea of liberty and individualism. Okay, the society was such. Okay, I hope you understand. The second point over here is the mismatch between the English and the American societies. Now, English societies, we have seen that they were dominated by, there was Queen Elizabeth, okay? They were dominated by the monarchical form of government. We will see in the Industrial Revolution that there was a lot of nobility, aristocracy, right? The rich merchants were driving their culture, and also they had faith in the Anglican church. Okay, there was system of royal privileges based on birth. It said that you're born with a silver spoon. But the American society, we notice here, it was more egalitarian, definitely farmer based, planters based, right? Artisans based, trader based, and they had uh, practiced also religious pluralism, because people from different religion, they came, they intermingled, and they existed together. They believed in the concept of equality and liberty. Now both the nations are not the nations, I'll say, both the places have absolutely different cultures and different thought processes. Third thing which we will see over here is the importance of the intellectual ideas or the philosophical thinkers over here. Okay, the Enlightenment philosophers which we have discussed: Thomas Hobbes, Rousseau, John Locke, Voltaire, Montesquieu. These 4 5 people you have to remember. So Thomas Hobbes, he gave the whole concept. Okay, Thomas Hobbes, he gave the concept of social contract theory. In the social contract theory, it's not that the state is going to come and impose the power on the people. Rather, the social contract is a two-way process. Certain kind of rights, okay, will be given to the people, will be given by the state to the people, and people will have certain duties towards the state. John Locke, he says that there is a concept of private property. Government is present to protect the natural right of the property, right to birth, right to live, right to property. Government can't take away that right. So this influenced the people who are coming from various different communities. Montesquieu, he advocated separation of power. He said that all the 3 organs of the government must be separated, and each of them should not interfere into the domain of one another. Apart from this, we have seen the conception of popular sovereignty with Rousseau. Rousseau says that it is a general will or the collective will of all the people, okay, that the government is formed. Also, they emphasized more on the rational thought, freedom of press and human rights. Educational institutions had been coming up. The first one is Harvard College. Also, it was Benjamin Franklin, okay. He founded the American Philosophical Society in Philadelphia. Now, this became a place where a lot of human socio-political discussions regarding human dignity have been taking place. Now, these universities are creating such students who have thought for critical thinking. Apart from this, we see that by 17th century, it was printing press which had spread the ideas all throughout. Also, there were certain pamphlets and the newspapers, right? Boston Newsletter, American Weekly, but what you have to remember is Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine is known as author of a pamphlet, Common Sense. The name itself says, where he asks the people to question, right? It strongly urged for the independence of the people from the Britain, and it was this basically which had popularized the revolutionary ideas among the American societies, where people from different places were coming and living together. Is it clear? Apart from this,